So just because you don't have perfect credit doesn't mean that there's still not things you can do to help improve your credit score. So today we're going to talk a little bit about what you can do and when's the best time to do it. Hi, I'm Jaketysiak, that guy that sells houses. I'm a realtor here in Illinois, and today we're actually going to be continuing our conversation on credit. Now, we've already talked a little bit about the details that go into your credit score, as well as what credit score you need to purchase a home. And if you're looking for more information, I'll put those videos up here. But today we're going to talk more about what you can actually do to improve your credit score. Now, let's talk about timing, because I said I mentioned that. But really, the best time to improve your credit score is when you don't need to take out a new loan or utilize your credit score. What I mean by that is some of these tips and tricks might have an initial little bit of a negative effect, but then shortly over time you will see that these balance out and you start to actually improve your credit score itself. Now, following along on that, keep in mind that each credit situation is going to be different. So what works for everybody might not work for them, and your mileages might vary on how effective some of these tips are in your particular situation. So reach out to a professional if you need to. Now let's start off with tip number one, which is really just not a tip at all, but make your payments on time. And this is critical because this equates for the majority of what your credit score involves. Now, I can give you some tips along this. Make it simple for yourself. Set up automatic payments so you make sure that you don't accidentally miss a month. You can do this through your credit card company itself or your loan provider. And usually you can set up a minimum payment with that. So you make sure that you are not late, saving yourself fees and credit points. But also you can do this through your checking account as well. Just make sure you give plenty of time for them to submit that payment if they do have to mail out a check. Now, we're going to spend the majority of our time talking today about credit utilization, as this is going to be one of the biggest things you can control and help improve your credit score. Now, what I mean by credit utilization is more geared towards credit cards themselves, as a credit card is going to give you an amount of money that you can lend against, and the lower amount that you actually do use is going to look more favorable on your credit report. So there's a couple ways we can do this. Now, one of the most direct ways you can do this is actually just by paying down the balance on your credit cards. Also, if you do have a credit card that you do pay off every month, even though you pay it off, if there's a balance showing on your credit card statement, this can be throwing it off as well. So by adjusting those dates before your credit card statement comes out, making a payment then, you can help reduce your overall credit utilization and improve your credit score. Now, another way you can help lower your credit utilization, your percentage, is actually by reaching out to your credit cards that you currently use and seeing if you maybe qualify for an increased credit limit. By increasing your credit limit, it's going to keep a lower ratio in comparison to those balances. Now, of course, keeping in mind, you don't want to be utilizing all of your credit. So if you do struggle with utilizing credit, this might work against you. And another possible way you can lower your credit utilization and improve your credit score is potentially by opening up a new credit card. Now, remember earlier in the video when I said sometimes the best time to improve your credit score is when you don't need it? This is sort of why. You see, when you do open up a new credit card, there's a good chance that your credit score might suffer for a couple of months by a few points, as there's probably going to be a hard inquiry as they look into your credit history and see that you've been applying for a new type of financing. And like I said, these usually do wear off after a few months, and because now you have lowered your credit utilization, you'll probably see a bump up in your credit score. Now again, same thing as asking for a higher credit limit. Make sure you don't use your credit. Now, keeping in mind, there are some great tools and websites out there that you can use to help monitor your credit. Credit Karma is one that I've personally used to help monitor my credit score, credit card balances, and they also have some tools on there like Credit Simulator, which you can take some of these tips and sort of run through a simulation to see how it might actually affect your credit score. Mint.com is another great spot that I've used personally. It is actually from Intuit, so the same company that makes TurboTax and Quicken, but it is a great online tool that you can use to monitor your banking as well as your credit cards and loans to make sure that they're on time, but also just give you a very good overall financial picture of where you're at. Now, for our next tip, you're going to want to take a look at your credit report and make sure that there's no discrepancies on there. Take a look, because sometimes collections end up on there that you've already paid in the past and are no longer relevant or shouldn't have been on there in the first place. And using tools like Credit Karma makes it really easy to dispute these quickly, and once removed, help boost your credit score. And for our last tip, if you are somebody who does have quite a few credit cards, but some of those credit cards are a little bit newer, possibly closing one of the newer credit cards could help your credit score. Now, keeping in mind that you do want to have lower utilization of your credit on those cards, lower than 30%, great. Lower than 10%, even better. But by closing your newest credit card, you could potentially raise the overall age of your credit history, which then helps promote a better credit score. So just keeping in mind that by monitoring your credit score and looking at your credit history, you're going to become more aware of what's actually going in your financial picture. And over time, these will come a lot more naturally to you, and you'll start to see patterns and tendencies on what you should and shouldn't do. And if you are continuing to look for more ways to learn about your credit score and financial picture, take a look at our videos up here. But if you're looking at buying or selling a house here in the Chicagoland area, feel free to give me a call. I would be happy to help. I'm Jake Tysiak of Keller Williams. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one.